New Hampshire labels itself the Granite State, but it might as well also call itself the White Mountain State. The region is kind of a mirror image of its neighbor Vermont, the Green Mountain State. Both interior New England states resemble backbones anchored geographically by parts of the Appalachian mountain chain that extends also to Maine. Concord is New Hampshire's capital, named the official seat of government in 1808. The Abenaki Native American tribe, numbered perhaps several thousand individuals, shared the narrow lowlands along the eastern border with Maine, while the interior mountains, like the Adirondacks in northern New York State, remained largely uninhabited, though populated by abundant wildlife, including moose. Few Indians apparently remained as early as 1700. Their habitats were displaced by Europeans. Initially, large numbers of Presbyterian-inclined Scotch-Irish fishermen and settler camps. French Canadians also filtered southward and mixed steadily in increasing numbers over the years, similar to Vermont. As noted previously, before the Revolutionary War, bitter land disputes between New York and Massachusetts erupted respecting New Hampshire's territory that eventually became Vermont. New Hampshire does have a vital outlet to the sea, with Portsmouth, its Atlantic Ocean port. Settled in 1623, Portsmouth did serve as a vital shipping hub on the eastern seaboard until the late 1800s. The settlement was the seat of the provincial government of the colony until the Revolution. Nearby, the Phillips Exeter Academy was founded in the town of Exeter in 1781. As a well-established university preparatory school, and an expensive one to attend, Phillips Exeter's curriculum relies on group discussion led by teachers using a Socratic method called the Harkness Plan, named after philanthropist Edward Harkness. Originally founded as a boys' school, girls began to attend in 1970. In the mid-17th century, John Wheelwright, a clergyman exiled from the Puritan Massachusetts Bay Colony, purchased Indian land and took with him about 175 individuals to found the town of Exeter. In 1647, Edward Gilman Jr. established the first sawmill. He built a 50-ton sloop which he used to conduct business in lumber, staves, and masts. Gilman was lost at sea in 1653 while traveling to England to purchase equipment for his mills, but his family figured prominently in the state, contributing shipbuilders, merchants, and statesmen. The Gilman family line features numerous progeny. Along a street near the Exeter Inn today, a notable home of Josiah Gilman, physician, is preserved. His father was Nick Gilman, while his grandfather apparently was among the town's founders. Josiah and wife had been rather prolific themselves, contributing 11 children to the town. Notably, another Gilman, Joseph, born in Exeter in 1738, became one of the famed Ohio Company associates and was among the first group of pioneers to land in and develop the settlement of Marietta on the Ohio River in 1789. He had been a state senator in New Hampshire and a member of the Committee of Safety. President Washington appointed him to be one of the 3 judges in the Northwest Territory in 1796, replacing Marietta's founder, Rufus Putnam. Joseph was son of Reverend Nicholas Gilman and Mary Thing Gilman. He entered into a partnership for 7 years with Nathaniel Folsom and Josiah Gilman in Exeter as Folsom, Gilman, and Gilman, to keep a store, build ships, and make sea voyages, mostly to England and the Caribbean. The Ammonoosuc River begins at the Lake of the Clouds on the western slopes of Mount Washington and eventually passes through the prosaic small town of Littleton, appropriately named. I myself stayed at the Thayer's Inn in Littleton, formerly known as the Thayer's White Mountain Hotel, built around 1842. I was in good company for the night with a slew of memories and some ghosts of notable Americans who stepped into its hallways. With its Greek Revival architecture, this hotel on Main Street in Littleton hosted presidents, politicians, celebrities, and other notable dignitaries. Included among them, visiting Presidents Ulysses S. Grant, Franklin Pierce, Richard Nixon, Jimmy Carter, and George H.W. Bush. Also stopping by were General George McClellan, Governor Nelson Rockefeller, Governor George Romney, Senator Barry Goldwater, Senator Harold Stassen, Senate Majority Leader Robert Dole, author and political commentator Patrick Buchanan, and Senator Bill Bradley. Other guests included P.T. Barnum, accompanied by General Tom Thumb, publisher Horace Greeley, Henry Ford, millionaire playboy Harry K. Thaw, Arctic explorer Commander Robert E. Peary, World War II General Tomoyuki Yamashita. He was known as the Tiger of Manila and lived at Thayer's for 3 months in 1940 while on a spy mission in the White Mountains on behalf of Japanese intelligence. Movie star Bette Davis was also here, among others. In Maine's backwoods, near the Quebec border, Moose-Luk-Meguntic Lake, hard to pronounce, located in Franklin County and Oxford County, is part of the Androscoggin River watershed, which cuts across the north end of the White Mountains. The lake is just a few miles from the Appalachian Trail. The lake's name is attributed to an Abenaki word for, quote, moose feeding place. In the White Mountains themselves, the greatest climatic extremes occur on the summit of Mount Washington, the site of a noted weather observatory. On April 12, 1934, for instance, the observatory there recorded a world record wind speed of 231 miles per hour. The Cog Railway, a 6-mile line running to the summit of Mount Washington, has been in operation since 1869.